Hello students and friends. Welcome to Homeopathy Medicines. Today in this homeopathic Materia Medica lesson, I will discuss about homeopathic medicine Arsenicum sulfuratum flavum. Before starting this video, please subscribe to this channel for Learn Homeopathy Online Free and Homeopathy Materia Medica. We need support from you to make this channel more beautiful and more informative. Now going to discuss about Arsenicum sulfuratum flavum, its uses and symptoms. Needle pricks from within outwards in chest, also on forehead, right side. Sticking behind ear. Difficult respiration. Skin chafed about genitals. Leukoderma and squamous syphilids. Sciatica and pain around the knee. Relationship arsenic sulfur. Influenza with intense catarrhal symptoms, great prostration and high temperature, purulent discharges, psoriasis, acne, and sciatica. Chilly even before a fire. Itching in various parts. Pellagra, this is one of our deepest remedies and is to used against psora and syphilis, especially in old broken constitutions. The encyclopedia and guiding symptoms furnish valuable fragmentary provings. This study is based also upon new provings and extensive clinical observations. It is a most useful medicine in old cases of malaria, in great weakness following the abuse of quinine. When eruptions have been suppressed from local treatment, and there is great weakness and lack of reaction. The symptoms are worse in morning, forenoon, afternoon, evening, in twilight, night, before midnight, after midnight. It has a marked tendency to form abscesses. Aversion to open air. Aversion to open air alternating with the desire for open air. Extremely sensitive to a draft. Open air makes some symptoms better and some worse. Anemia and physical anxiety. Weakness and suffocation from going upstairs. Parts feel constricted as with a band. He takes cold from bathing and all symptoms are worse. It is a most useful remedy in combating the symptoms of epithelioma, lupus and psoas, even where ulceration is far advanced. The appearance of the face and skin is much like chlorosis. Choric action of the muscles all over the body. In general the patient is cold, worse from cold air, from becoming cold, from cold, wet weather, takes cold easily. Convulsions, abdomen puffed up, offensive bilious diarrhea, slimy vomiting. Discharges from all mucous membranes and outlets very excoriating, offensive, thin and yellow. Dropsy of the extremities and in abdomen. The symptoms are worse before and after eating. There is marked emaciation of the body. Slight exertion increases all conditions and symptoms. Faintness from many causes, but especially after stool. Worse from cold drinks, sour food, cold food, fat food, fruit and milk. Formication all over the body. The mucous membranes bleeding easily. The body feels heavy and loggy. Sometimes he is too warm and sometimes chilly. Inflamed parts and base of ulcers indurate. Inflammation of organs and glands. Lassitude and lack of reaction. He always desires to lie down. He feels worse lying, worse after lying a while, worse lying on back, yet he feels better in bed. Symptoms all worse during menstruation. Motion in general ameliorates, yet motion aggravates some symptoms. The patient dreads motion. Old people much broken down, seem to rally under its action. Pains are cutting, burning, internal and external, pressing, stitching, tearing, tearing downward, tearing in muscles. Thrusting pains. Periodicity is very marked. Perspiration gives no relief. Complaints after suppressed sweat. Pulsations all over the body. The pulse is fast, irregular, intermittent, small, weak. Running or fast walking increases all symptoms. Extremely sensitive to pain. Shocks felt throughout the body, many symptoms worse on right side of the body. Complaints worse sitting. Symptoms before sleep, on going to sleep and during sleep. Standing aggravates. Stiffness in body and limbs. Dropsical swelling and swelling of glands. affected parts sore to touch, trembling of body and limbs, twitching of muscles, varicose veins. Many symptoms worse after sleep. Walking ameliorates, walking in open air aggravates, walking fast aggravates. Warmth of bed ameliorates. Extreme weakness, weakness in morning, during menses, after exertion, after eating, from perspiration, after stool, from walking in open air. Absent-minded, and he is greatly affected from anger. Aversion to answering questions, and when he does answer his mind works slowly. Anxiety, morning, evening in bed, during the night. Anxiety of conscience, with fear, during fever, about salvation, after a swoon, during stool, on waking. He is very critical with his friends and desires things which are not useful to him. Confusion of mind in the morning on waking. Over-conscientious about small matters. Longs for death. Delirious and raving during the night. His mind is full of delusions. A general feeling of despair. He is discontented and very excitable. His mind is full of fear at night, fear of a crowd, of death, of evil, of ghosts, of people, of solitude. Memory at first active, later he is forgetful. Easily frightened or startled, starting on going to sleep and during sleep. It has been useful during fevers when he picks the bed clothing. Hurried feeling and always hasty in actions. Many hysterical symptoms. Impatience, indifference, indolence. He seems to be growing weak-minded. It has been used in insane conditions, in drunkards. Extremely irritable during chill, in the morning on waking. Loathing of life. Sometimes he is lamenting and again he is laughing. At times very talkative and again very malicious, almost maniacal like one intoxicated. It has been used in mania apotu. Mental work is impossible after eating. Great liveliness, then muttering. Extremely unreasonable and obstinate. Offended without cause and quarrelsome followed by insane fury. Religious affections, remorse. Great mental fatigue. Restlessness evening, night, tossing in bed, during fever, during menses. Sadness evening, during heat, during sweat. Extremely sensitive and touchy. Inclined to take all matters seriously. Speech incoherent and wandering. Aversion to being spoken to, indisposed to converse on any subject. Suspicious of all his friends and his family. Periods of stupefaction, vanishing of thought. Weeping at night. Weeping in sleep. Extremely timid, bashful, feeling of weakness in head. Vertigo evening, as if dancing up and down. Inclined to fall to the right. Vertigo with headache. Looking downward, with nausea, walking in the open air. Whenever the general symptoms given above strongly predominate in any given case, the following particulars will yield to this remedy. The head is cold during headache, especially the forehead. A feeling of tightness of the forehead and marked hyperemia of the brain, moist crusts and scales on the scalp. It has been very useful in eczema. Pustules on the scalp. Inflamed patches much like erysipelas. Much heat in the head and especially in the forehead. Great weight in forehead morning and evening. Itching of the scalp. The head is painful in the morning on waking. Pain in the afternoon. Pain at 5 p.m. and 4 p.m. Pain in the head evening and night. Pain worse in cold air, on coughing, after eating, from exercising, in bright light, moving head, riding in a carriage, in a warm room, shaking the head, after sleep, from stimulants, from stooping, from walking in the open air. Pain comes during chill, during menses, comes periodically, every 2 weeks. Pain is violent and pulsating. Violent pain deep in the brain, in frontal region and right ear. Pain in forehead worse in right side, better after sleep. Waking often with dull pain above the eyes extending to the top of the head. Pain in the occiput extending to sides of head 7 to 11 a.m. Pain in sides of head. Pain in vertex. sore, bruised pain in whole head, in forehead. Burning in head. Drawing pain in forehead. Pressing pain in forehead, occiput and temples. Dull pain in right frontal region, which increases in severity and becomes a sharp, pulsating and shooting pain extending to occiput on the right side, worse from motion and stooping, 4 p.m. Stitching pain in the head, in temple, worse on coughing. Tearing pain in occiput. Cold sweat on the forehead, temple worse on coughing. Pulsation in the head. Shocks in the head. Eyelids stuck together in the morning. Discharges from eyes acrid, bloody, yellow. Dryness of the eyes. Dullness. Eruptions about the eyes. Excoriation of the lids. Glassy look of the eyes. Gum in canthi. Granular lids. Chronic inflammation of eyes, of conjunctiva, cornea, iris, lids. The veins of eyes are injected. Lacrimation. Half-open eyes. Opening lids difficult. Pain in eyes evening, on moving eyes, when reading, aching in the eyes. Burning in evening when reading. Burning in margin of lids. Pains are drawing, pressing, sore, bruised, stitching, tearing, paralysis of optic nerve. Photophobia in sunlight. The eyes feel as if protruding. Redness of lids, of veins, spots on the cornea, sunken eyes. Swollen lids. The tears are acrid. Twitching of the lids. Ulceration of the cornea. In the field of vision there are sparks, flickerings and dark colors. Objects look yellow. Foggy vision. Dim vision. Discharges from ear fetid and offensive. Eruptions on and behind ears. Formication. Heat of ears. Sensation of fullness in ears. Itching of ears and in ears. Noises, buzzing, humming, ringing, soaring, rushing, snapping. Pain in ears in evening. Pain behind ears. Pain in ears, burning, drawing, pressing outward, stitching, tearing. Pulsation in ears. Ears feel stopped. Tingling of ears. Tensive feeling behind right ear on stroking the hair. Hearing impaired. Cold nose. Fluent coryza. Nasal discharge bloody burning, crusty, excoriating, greenish, offensive, thick, white, yellow. Dryness in nose. Bleeding from the nose. The nose is obstructed with thick mucus. Offensive odor from nose. Burning inside of nose. Smell at first acute, later wanting. Frequent sneezing. The nose is swollen. Ulceration high up in nose. It has cured epithelioma of the lip. The face is chlorotic and cold. The lips are cracked. The face is bluish and there are dark circles under the eyes. Earthy, pale or sallow. Jaundiced face. Circumscribed red cheeks. Red spots. Redness of the face. Dryness of the lips. Eruptions, acne, pimples, pustules, rash, scurf, vesicles. It cures eczema when the symptoms agree. The expression is anxious, sickly, suffering. Heat and itching of the face. Inflammation of the submaxillary gland. Pain worse in open air and better from warmth, comes on periodically. Pain in the submaxillary gland. Pains of face are burning, drawing, tearing. Cold sweat on face. Pulsation in right side of face. The face looks sunken. Swelling of the face and submaxillary gland. Twitching of the face. Ulceration of the lips. Copious offs in mouth and on the tongue. Bleeding of the gums. Cracked tongue. The tongue is red or coated brown, white or yellow. Mouth and tongue very dry. Inflammation of the tongue. Much frothy mucus in the mouth. The mucous membrane of the mouth and tongue is inflamed and excoriated. Offensive odor from the mouth. Burning mouth and tongue. Copious saliva. Scorbutic gums. Shining tongue. Speech difficult. Taste is bad, better in morning on waking, bloody, insipid, putrid, saltish, sour, sweetish, ulcers in the mouth and on the tongue. The mouth is full of vesicles. choking in the throat and constriction of the esophagus. The right tonsil is enlarged. Dryness, redness and heat in the throat. Inflammation of throat and tonsils. Sensation of a lump in throat. Much mucus in throat. Pain in throat in evening on swallowing. Burning, rawness, soreness and stitching. Scraping in the throat, swallowing difficult. The throat is swollen. Ulceration of pharynx. It is a very useful remedy in stubborn syphilitic ulceration of throat with rapid destruction of tissue. A feeling of anxiety in the stomach. Appetite ravenous, with easy satiety. Appetite wanting for the evening meal. Aversion to fats, to food, to rich food, to meat. Sensation of coldness in stomach. Constriction of stomach. Craves stimulants. Coffee, fruit, sour things, sweets, warm things, warm drinks. The stomach is disordered from milk. A sensation of emptiness. Eructations acrid, bitter, empty, of food, foul, sour. Gnawing in the stomach. Fullness in stomach after eating, especially after breakfast. Heartburn. Weight in stomach after eating. Hiccup after eating. Indigestion from all heavy food. Loathing of food. Nausea after cold water, after eating, during headache, during stool. Pain in stomach after eating. Burning, cramping, cutting, pressing and stitching pains. Burning after cold drinks, pressing after eating. Extreme tenderness of the stomach. Pulsation. Retching when coughing. Sensation of a stone in the stomach. Thirst morning, evening and night. Burning thirst. Thirst after chill. Extreme thirst during heat. Unquenchable thirst. Vomiting worse nights, on coughing, after drinking, after eating, during headache, after milk, vomiting bile, black substance, blood, food, mucus, sour, watery substances. A feeling of anxiety in the abdomen after stool. Bluish spots over the abdomen and thighs. Cold abdomen during chill. Distension after eating. Tympanitic abdomen. Dropsy of barytonium. It has cured enlarged spleen. Eruptions on the abdomen. Flatulence, fullness, and gurgling. Fullness in the hypogastric region. Itching of the skin. The abdomen feels heavy and the liver is hard. Pain in the abdomen at night. Pain as though diarrhea would come on. Pain in abdomen after coughing, after eating, during menses, while walking, better by external warmth. Pain in the liver and in the hypogastrium. Burning in the bowels. Cramping before and after stool. Cramping and vomiting. Cutting pain before stool, worse walking, better by pressure. Great tenderness in the abdomen. Strong pulsations in abdomen. Rumbling in abdomen, worse before stool. It has cured painful and swollen spleen in old malarial cases. Sensation of tightness in the abdomen. Ulceration of the navel. Constipation alternating with diarrhea. Stools hard and knotty. Difficult. Diarrhea in the morning after rising, daily at 8 a.m., afternoon, night, after midnight. Stools acrid, black, pure bile, bloody mucus, offensive, mushy and yellow, undigested, thin. Diarrhea after drinking, after eating, after fruit, during menses. The diarrhea is generally painful, but sometimes painless. Dysentery with bloody mucus, scanty stool. Excoriation of the anus and around it. The anus is fissured. Flatus copious and offensive. Hemorrhoids worse during the night, external, large, worse walking. Itching of the anus. Moisture that excoriates. Pain in rectum and anus during stool and after stool, during straining to stool. During urination. Burning during and after stool. Cutting during stool. Soreness and stitching pains. Tenesmus with dysentery and after a yellow mushy stool. Paralysis and prolapsus of rectum. Fullness of the bladder. Inflammation of the bladder. Pain in the bladder. Paralysis of bladder. Retention of urine. Urging to urinate worse at night, constant ineffectual, sudden, must hasten or will lose the urine. Urination dribbling, painful, difficult, involuntary at night, unsatisfactory. Inflammation of kidneys, urine suppressed. Burning in urethra when passing urine. The urine is albuminous, bloody, burning, cloudy on standing, copious or scanty, offensive, with purulent sediment, thick, specific gravity is high. Specific gravity low. Gonorrhea with terrible pains, discharge copious, yellow, constant burning day and night along the entire urethra with restlessness. Stitching of glands penis and scrotum, perspiration of genitals, drawing pain in left spermatic cord. Seminal emissions. Ulcers on prepuce. Itching of the vulva. Leukorrhea, excoriating, bloody, burning, copious, thick, yellow, after menses. Menses copious, dark, too frequent, protracted, burning in the vulva. Catarrh with viscid mucus, itching in the larynx, causing coughing. Dryness in larynx, causing choking. Soreness, burning and rawness in larynx. Hoarseness. Voice lost. Asthmatic breathing during the night. Dyspnea evening and during the night. Dyspnea worse ascending stairs, after eating, from least exertion, while lying. Respiration is rattling, short, singing, suffocative, wheezing. Cough morning, afternoon, evening in bed, night, from cold air, open air, asthmatic, on becoming cold, after eating, lying. Dry cough from tickling in the larynx. Hacking cough, loose cough, racking, spasmodic cough, suffocative cough. Whooping cough. Expectoration, bloody, copious, frothy, offensive mucus, purulent, thick, viscid, yellow. Anxiety of the chest. It has been of great service in cancerous ulceration of the breast. It is a most useful remedy in bronchial catarrh. The chest feels cold, sensation of tightness of the chest. Effusion in the pleura and pericardium. Eruptions of many kinds on the chest. Hemorrhage of the lungs. Inflammation of the lungs, pericardium and pleura. Oppression of the chest on ascending, when coughing, after eating, when walking. Pain in the chest when coughing, worse from motion and from breathing. Pain in the sides of chest and in regions of heart. Burning in chest. Cutting in chest, worse from motion, 5 a.m., between 5th and 6th ribs. Cutting in heart, worse from respiration. Pressing pain. Sore bruised chest from coughing. Stitching in chest on coughing. Stitching in sternum and heart. Violent palpitation, worse during the night and from exertion. It is a most useful remedy in phthisis in all stages. When incurable it is a great palliative. Feeling of weakness in chest, with weak voice. The back is constantly cold. Many eruptions on the back. Pain in back evening and night, during chill and fever, during menses. Pain in back of neck and between thescapulae. Pain in lumbar region and sacrum. Pain in coccyx to anus, morning on rising. Aching in lumbar region. Burning, drawing and tearing in back. Drawing in lumbar region. Sore, bruised pain in lumbar region. Tenderness of coccyx. Perspiration of the back. Stiffness of cervical region. Weakness of lumbar region. Cold hands, legs and feet. Cramps in calf, feet and sole. Blueness of fingers and nails during chill. Eruptions, boils, pimples, pustules, vesicles. Desquamation of limbs. Excoriation between the thighs and nates. Formication of lower limbs. Heat of feet. Heaviness of lower limbs, of feet. Itching of limbs worse after scratching, of lower limbs at 1 p.m., of thighs and toes. Jerking of lower limbs. Numbness of upper and lower limbs, of feet, of heel and outer side of foot. Pain in limbs evening, night after midnight, during chill, rheumatic in cold weather, wandering, relieved by external warmth and warmth of bed, in wet weather. Pain in joints, bones. Pain in upper limbs, as though in the bones relieved by warmth, rheumatic, worse toward morning, wandering. Lower limbs, sciatica, right thigh, knee, leg. Pain in lower third of tibia relieved by motion. Burning hands and feet. Bruised pain in limbs. Stitching pains in limbs. Tearing pain in all limbs, upper limbs, shoulder, arm, elbow, forearm, fingers. Tearing in thighs, legs and feet. Paralysis of limbs, hemisplegia, painless, upper limbs, right for 3 days, lower limbs. Perspiration of hands cold, of feet offensive and cold. Restless limbs, legs, feet. Stiffness in knees. Stiffness in all the joints after recovering from the poison. Swelling dropsical and inflammatory, joints, upper limbs, hands, fingers, knees, legs, ankles, feet. Trembling of body and limbs, upper limbs and hands, lower limbs and feet. Twitching of thighs. Ulcers on legs. Weakness of all the limbs, of joints, upper limbs, lower limbs, knees, legs, ankles, feet. Deep sleep, even comatose. Dreams, amorous, anxious, of death, of the dead, frightful, of misfortune, nightmare, vexatious, vivid. Falling asleep late. Restless sleep. Sleeplessness afternoon and evening. Sleeplessness before midnight, after 3 a.m. If he wakens cannot get to sleep again. Unrefreshing sleep. Waking easily and frequently. Morning on waking, forenoon, noon, afternoon, evening in bed, night, midnight. Chill in open air, in cold air, walking in cold air. Chill alternating with sweat. Chill ascending the body, the back. Chilliness with sweat. Creeping chills in the evening. Chill after drinking cold water, after eating, worse from motion. External and internal coldness. Congestive chill. Chill followed by sweat. Quartan, quotidian and tertian chill. Shaking chill afternoon and evening. Trembling with the chill. Warm room does not relieve the coldness nor the chill, but is grateful. Specific times of chill, 1 a.m., 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 12 p.m. Morning, afternoon and evening heat. Evening fever with chilliness. Fever during night with chilliness. Fever after midnight. Fever alternates with chill and with perspiration. Burning fever afternoon, evening and night. Fever without chill at night. Fever and chill intermingled. Continued fever worse during the night. Long-lasting dry heat. External heat with chilliness. Flushes of heat. It has done excellent service in hectic fever. It should become one of the best remedies in intermittent fever. It has fever with sweat and without sweat. It is suitable in remittent fevers as its fevers are afternoon, evening and night, and there is a remission in the morning and forenoon. During the fever he wants to be uncovered. It is a strong remedy in zymotic fevers. It has morning sweat and again during the night sweat from the least excitement or anxiety, from the warmth of the bed, on coughing, while eating, from least exertion, on motion, during sleep and after waking. The sweat is cold, clammy, debilitating, offensive, sour. Profuse night sweat. Sweat of single parts. His symptoms are not relieved while sweating. If he becomes cooled while perspiring he suffers much. Burning of the skin after scratching. Burning in spots. Marked coldness of skin of body and limbs. Discoloration of skin, blotches, blue spots, liver spots, pale, red spots, white spots, periodical dry burning skin. Eruptions, blisters, bloody after scratching, boils, burning, carbuncles, desquamating, dry, eczema, fetid, herpes itching, moist with corrosive yellow discharge, painful petechia, painful pimples, psoriasis, pustules, rash, scabby after scratching, bran-like scales, stinging, suppurating, urticaria that is nodular and worse after scratching, vascular, worse after scratching, with yellow fluid. All eruptions worse after scratching, and the itching without eruption is also worse after scratching. Inflammation of the skin like erysipelas. Excoriation of the skin. Formication, inactivity and marked induration. Itching, burning, crawling and stinging, worse after scratching. Moisture after scratching. Pain in the skin after scratching. Purpura hemorrhagica. The skin is very sensitive to touch. Sticking, stinging and swelling of skin in places and spots. Ulcers, bleeding, burning, cancerous, crusty, deep, indolent, inflamed, painful, phagedenic, pulsating, red, stinging, stinging margins, suppurating. Ulcers discharging corrosive, offensive, thin, watery, yellow pus. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more videos like Arsenicum, sulfuratum, flavum, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. To learn homeopathy course online free with Homeopathy Materia Medica. Comment us your feedback and what you want in the next video. Like and share this video with your friends and family. For paid and free consultancy online, visit homeopathymedicines.com and maishclinic.com. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay healthy, stay happy.